keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And it's a good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, still can kick them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep on going till your life is overflowing, yeah. I do a dance of victory, cause now I'm living good. No, I'm not living like I used to be. Now talk about things, talk about my mind. Now I'm free from the words that I left behind. I gotta jump for joy and shout aloud and make a sound. Oh, the world can stop me now, no. And on the music I will ride on the beat. Play my guitar while I'm stomping my feet, yeah. I gotta celebrate life and get excited about good times and good living. Come on, shout it out, hey! Take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm freeing my soul and now you got me singing, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Fantastic Friday at the 2017 United Healthcare U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. This is our first women's semifinals doubles match in the LPRT division. Now let's meet our players. Seeded number 6 in the draw, from Bedford, Ohio, Cheryl Watts. And from Fountain Hills, Arizona, Rajsich.
That kid rapping?
Martinez, and from Monterrey, Mexico, Longoria.
Asking you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the semifinals of the LPRT doubles. We have Rhonda and Cheryl taking on Gabrielle and Paola. Zero serving zero here in game one. Short serve there by Cheryl. Good point there as Cheryl sends it to that left side of the front court. Looked like Paola not able to get there in time. So we've got one serving zero. Call was short. Side out there called. Skip called there. Like to welcome my partner, Mr. Pineda.
How we doing out there, IRT Network? What a matchup we have here today. Watching Gabrielle and Paola, or as it's properly pronounced, Paola Longoria. Taking on a tough American team of Cheryl Lotz and Rhonda Rajsich. So virtually a Team Mexico, Team USA matchup. Featuring the number 2 and the number 6 seed. Number 2 seed being Paola Longoria and Gabrielle Martinez.
Paola. I love it. Paola. So Gabrielle ready to serve here.
I'll chat with Brian a little bit.
You. All right. We've got former birthday boy Andy Callback coming on the mic as well. Andy, how you doing today?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Just loving life.
Excellent. Excellent. So
How was your birthday yesterday?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I spent the entire 16 hours in this building
Do you feel all of 25?
for the 30th time. But yes. It's all good. So what's going on here?
So we got a great matchup just getting started here. It's 1-2. We have the number 2 seed of Paula Longoria, Gabriel Martinez, taking on the number 6 seed of Cheryl Lotz and Randa Rajsich.
Wow, you can roll your R's. That's good.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can.
you can.
I can't control it either. Like, even though it's not supposed to be rolled, if it's just one R, it gets rolled anyways.
Look, nice. Oh, Jen Saunders. Hi, Jen Saunders. I miss you. Jen Saunders says that I need to tell, I guess it's you, that Gabby Martinez is from Guatemala.
You know, the moment I said this was virtually a Team Mexico, Team USA, I thought to myself, I was like, wait, Gabby is not from...
Oh, yeah, plus you spelled Gabrielle wrong on the screen. There's 2 L's.
Calling me out over the air, Andy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ouch. Sticking up for his former LPRT players is what he's doing.
That's what it is.
Yep. So, wow, Rhonda and Cheryl out to a 3-1 lead. They had a good win yesterday, right? Who'd they beat to get here?
I believe they played Alexandra Herrera and her partner.
Yeah, Monty Mejia.
That's right.
They are a great doubles team, too. Monty is awesome in doubles.
I couldn't believe it myself when I heard that they won. I mean, I could. Rhonda's one of the great women of all time. Cheryl Lotz has done nothing but work on her game. But, yeah, on paper, you kind of think it could go the other way. Where's Jen Saunders, by the way?
Jen Saunders is still working for, what is it, Racquetball Manitoba. It's Racquetball
Okay.
Manitoba. She is retired from the tour.
Oh,
Still playing on the Canadian national team.
as she should.
Absolutely. Have I missed anything, Jen?
We're going to find out through text.
And now, while we've been checking up on Jen Saunders, Rhonda and Cheryl are out to a 5-2 lead.
You know, I talked to U.S. junior team assistant coach Robbie, and he said that he watched this match yesterday and that Rhonda's playing some of the most inspiring ball that he's ever seen her play, and Cheryl Lotz, all the hard work she's put in, is paying off in dividends. He said she's just playing the best ball that she's ever played as well. So it's the right time for your best ball to be coming out at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I know that Cheryl just recently spent a week or two up with the Ellises in Stockton. So I know that she's been working really, really hard. Actually, interestingly enough, I played doubles against her last weekend in a one-day shootout in Columbus.
Oh, how fun.
My team won.
Of course.
But
gonna
she
throw
was
that in
playing
there.
really. She played really, really well, though. They really did. And of course, you know, Paul is here without her regular doubles partner, Samantha Salas.
Yeah, is there a reason for that?
Yeah, Samantha, right after the end of the last season, right after their event in June, Samantha had shoulder surgery again. So she's recovering from that for a second time.
Sure, she's just taking care of herself, and she said,
Yep.
Pale, I'm all about me right now. That's selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, she had surgery. She's rehabbing, and,
No,
you
I'm
know,
just
she'll be
kidding.
back. You know, she'll be back soon.
I love the intensity that Samantha Salas plays with.
Yeah.
Just a great amount of fire, and I'd imagine it's probably the same way outside of being from the same country, playing Worlds and Nationals together. That's probably why Paolo likes it as well.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
we'll take a short commercial break here as the women gather themselves. We're in game number 1. Paula Longoria, Gabriel Martinez. We're off to a 7-2 start. We'll be right back.
Do you want to be a better racquetball player? Fran Davis can and will make you a better player. Guaranteed. Pro or beginner and every level in between. Paula Longoria, Rocky Carson, and legends Jason Menino and Sutzi Monchek all use her proven systems to be a better racquetball player and champion. Check out her book, DVD, camps, coaching sessions, and video analysis, all at FranDavisRacquetball.com.
And welcome back to the IRT Network. Brian Pineda with fellow host here, Andy Callback and Kelly Diesel Fillera. We're all having a great time here. It's Friday at the granddaddy of all grand championships of racquetball.
Friday.
Nice between the legs by Rajsich.
Fortunate that rally had ended a skip because it really kind of had every bit of athleticism these ladies can show. As you said, in between the legs, getting super fancy. But it's incredible how far the women's game has progressed in relatively less than a decade. You know, we were watching a lot of the older players where it was just kind of shoot and very basic racquetball. Now today, that's nowhere near that. You're seeing the women in the best shape that the tour as a collective entity has ever been, keep pushing each other. We're seeing, you know, what was once a USA-dominated sport is now, our North American sport is now, you're seeing Mexico obviously part of North America, but you're seeing Guatemala, you're seeing Bolivia, you're seeing Korea, you're seeing so many other countries come in here making a name for themselves.
Yeah, it really is interesting because you're right. The Latin American players are working hard. They're playing great racquetball. They have upped the level of athleticism on the tour. And, you know, honestly, one of the challenges that the tour faces is the lack of high-quality U.S. women.
Right.
Right? You know, Rhonda, Cheryl.
Yeah, you have Adrian Fisher, who's always been around since the junior years.
Adrian Haynes, yes.
There you go. Whoa. You're dating me. You're dating me right now, Andy, because I know her as Adrian Fisher, but you're absolutely correct. Adrian Haynes.
But interestingly, Adrian, who's a good friend of mine, she's been playing the tour for 15 years.
Incredible.
Yeah, you know, and she's only like 30 or 31, and she's been playing for 15 years already. So
I'm super looking forward to the insurgence of the young up-and-comers from America. And I'm talking about players like Erica Mania and Holly Scott.
Yep.
And some of these young guns that are coming in, Jordan Cooper Ryder. Mm-hmm. We're talking about some serious next-generation level of competition that has the fitness, the speed, and the talent. And they're all bringing it together. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it all turns out as these Latin American players have really taken over the tour.
Yeah, that can't happen soon enough for the LPRT. And I know that, you know, Erica's in college. Holly is on her way to college. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yep, and Jordan, I know, is going to go to school. And then they're all going to hit the tour right about the same time.
It's going to be great stuff. Ronda
Speaking of
Rajsich
great
getting
stuff.
level.
Wow.
And then a reverse pinch.
That was about a 45, 50-second rally right there. That didn't end.
And Ronda really having to come up with the goods that time because it's a 9-4 affair for Gabby Martinez and Paola Longoria. And before that dive and reverse pinch, I don't know if anyone was playing with more intensity than Gabriel Martinez. Paola looks focused, Cheryl's focused, but Gabby is walking around with the swag that is all business. I'm afraid to look at her in the eyes.
Rhonda?
No, I'm talking about Gabrielle.
I think Rhonda's a little upset with our referee right now. She seems like she's all business.
Yeah, like I said, that was pre-dive. Now I'm seeing Ronda going full eye of the tiger right now.
Ronda really not happy right now.
Yeah. Gabby, you know, you're talking about Gabby's expressions on the court. She is fiery as a player, but
I love
gosh,
it.
just super nice. I mean,
I bet.
super nice off the court, but she does have a lot of fire.
One person I'd say that is sorely missed full-time from the tour, at least from a personal perspective. I thought she played with the right amount of fire as well, was Maria Jose Vargas.
Agreed.
And I really hope, she just had a baby a month ago. You can't even tell. She looks like she's been
It's incredible.
a triathlete for the
Yeah.
last 20 years, but I hope that she makes a return. She only adds more quality to the tour.
This looks like that.
We're good here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why's the run there?
Ask now.
Oh, I just got a text message from Lily Berry, who's watching back in Columbus, Ohio. Remember I was talking about, playing Cheryl in doubles over the weekend? And I said that me and my partner, we beat Cheryl in doubles. What I forgot to mention was it was a round robin, so it was only 2 games. Total points wins the match, and we did lose the first game.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that.
It's all right.
Probably intentionally, actually.
Minor details.
Agreed, but thank you for Lily for sending me a message and correcting my omission.
Looks like Ronda wants to appeal for an avoidable here. As we've seen on the men's side of things, even if a player's in the air, but if it's down the line, it's been rewarded as an avoidable. I find that to be a soft call myself, so I kind of like that the head referee here, who I cannot see because I have a legend in front of me, says Imanchik.
Yeah, but he's a short legend.
But I'm sitting down, so it equals itself out.
Just because I'm curious, guys.
She calls a regular hinder.
Does the LPRT not have appeals through the monitor? Do they ask side referees?
No, they have line
Correct.
judges. They have
Okay.
line judges.
Well, what am I doing? I'm jobless.
You're
Yeah,
doing
pretty much.
great. You
Yeah.
make us look good. You're the face of the radio.
I'm the soul of the radio.
Oh, no, John said you have a face for radio.
A face for radio. He would say something like that. A face for radio.
Let's see what the refs call here. Ballo's not going to like that.
No, not at
Paola.
all. So half out.
That's right. We're about 2/3 away, or 2/3 done here in game number 1. We have 10 serving 5. First one to 15 wins. This will be a best of 3 tiebreaker to 11. Andy, on the LPRT, is it a win by 2 rule or win by 1?
No, doubles is win by 1.
Love it.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. Singles. Yeah, scoring on the LPRT, both singles and doubles, works the same way it does on the IRT for singles
Gotcha.
and doubles.
That was a ripping backhand from Ronda.
Oh, that was close.
This ref is taking some stick right now.
She's going to get the business.
Well,
It's an intense
you know,
match.
It is, but she's got help. She's got 2 line judges, and the players can appeal. So,
Right. Pressure's kind of off her. She just has to make her best judgment, and then it goes to the other 2, and after that, that's that.
exactly.
After that, that's that.
Yep. That's a great get.
Now, Paula just took over that entire rally.
As she should. You don't become the number 1 ranked player for multiple years standing now, U.S. Open champion. Basically, whether you talk about men's or women from a publicity side, she's the face of racquetball by letting someone else control your destiny. She has made a career of carping her diem.
I like that.
Seizing
I like
her
that.
day.
That's right.
Hey, it's more Italian for you.
Ooh, Latin.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
so
right.
close.
My bad.
That's right. It's a derivative of Latin.
That's why you're the history teacher.
That's great stuff.
Yeah. Great get by Rhonda. Good cover by Paula. That ball was real close to the front wall.
Mm-hmm. This is part of the athleticism that you wouldn't have seen if yesterday's, what was once the WPRO, now the LPRT. You wouldn't see this kind of diving except for from the very special elite, and now you're seeing it from top to bottom. Part of that next generation of where the LPRT is headed.
Paola's so good.
You said that so tenderly, Kelly. Is there something you want to tell us
Wow.
about how you feel about her?
Wow, time to shut off the microphone.
Just a phenomenal athlete, that's all. Just a phenomenal athlete, that's all.
Yeah, she is.
Beautiful shot.
And you know what? Nobody works harder. Nobody works harder than Paola. And I had a good 5 years of, watching her play and watching her work. Nobody works harder than she does.
Right.
It's funny story. I was talking to her. Let's see, today's Friday, so yesterday, and before her first singles match, she did an hour of cardio. It's up there for an hour. You do an hour of cardio, goes and plays a match, plays her 32s, plays her round of 16s also yesterday, and had to play a round of doubles.
Yeah.
And tossed in an hour of cardio just for the heck of it.
You can tell she's just, it's what I call being in love. She is so committed and so in love with what she's doing that it's something that has to be a part of her everyday life, her every waking moment.
Yeah, the other, and
sleep,
she
and
is. I
breathe
mean,
racquetball.
she is a true professional in every sense of the word. She has her team, right? She has her physical therapist, who is here with her this week. When you go to her events in Mexico, she has her sports psychologist, her trainer, her physical therapist, her parents, her coach Fran Davis. She has a team.
Right. Glam squad, as they say in the fashion world.
Glam squad.
But she has, and I mean, the other part of that being a professional, which I've talked with multiple of the up-and-comers and the people that have established themselves on the IRT as well, and this definitely applies to the LPRT. You take the two best examples of what it is to be a true professional of your sport. It is not just about getting that ball to bounce twice and getting the highest score, and that's great what you do on the court, right? That shows your talent. What about being a true professional? The business side, your preparation, pre and post match, visualization, the amount of countless hours you've got to spend training, doing video, like you said with Paola, whether she has sports psychologist, attending to her body, listening to her body for aches and pains and what's feeling good and what's not. Apparel, how you look. Look at the back of Paola. I don't think there's a spot for one more sponsor on there.
Funny story.
She's a walking billboard.
Funny story about that. We were at a tournament a couple years back, and she walked up to me. We were talking, and she says, I just signed a new sponsor. And I forget who it was. It might have been Subaru at the time. By the way, she dropped Subaru. She's now sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. But anyways, it might have been Subaru.
Sometimes you got to downgrade.
Right, exactly. So she walked up to me, and she says, I just signed a new sponsor. Pretty excited about it. I'm sponsored by Subaru now. And I looked at her. She was in her, in her racquetball outfit. I looked at her. I said, if you get any more sponsors, you're gonna have to get taller.
No doubt. Or start resulting to tattoos and hopefully they're permanent sponsors.
Right, because she is out of room on her outfits.
Right. But I mean, she is, even with Rocky Carson, she's a true total encompassment of how you take a sport, put a saddle on your back, and you load that sport on your back and take it for a ride.
Yep, I agree.
But Rocky Carson in his own right, too. Even before there was Paola, he did the best job of being personal with people off the court, bringing in outside sponsorships, representing in a professional way, the best way a sportsman can.
Yeah, no, I agree. Rocky as well. He's just, just fewer opportunities in the United States for racquetball players than there is in Mexico, but Rocky has done a phenomenal job.
Right.
What a play by
In
Gabrielle right
between
there.
the legs. Next gen kind of athleticism.
She let it go between the legs first, too, didn't she?
That's what I'm saying.
And then played it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh boy.
This is going to be an interesting match in another way. Watching Paula and Gabby play. They've played together before, and they've played a couple of tournaments together this year because Samantha has been rehabbing her shoulder. But this is a pretty big stage for Gabby, right?
Heck yeah, it is.
Center court, U.S. Open, playing with the player who is arguably the greatest woman player of all time. I think we can make that argument.
Absolutely.
And here you are in center court, semifinals of the U.S. Open, playing with Paula Longoria. You got to step your game up.
So many hundreds of thousands of people are going to watch you play, not just because people want to see you play, but respectfully, they're watching Paula play. They're seeing what she's going to do next to increase her lineage. It's no disrespect to the women on the court as well. They're all great in their own right and have their own fans. But the bulk of the viewership is watching this young lady who's carrying the sport of racquetball right now.
Oh, totally agree. I totally agree with you.
But I'll tell you what, and this is respectfully as well to the IRT, as we've seen, the marketing, the publicity has increased exponentially just in this first inaugural year of new ownership and new partnerships that have happened with being on SportsCenter and all that. The more the story of Kane Wasselinchuk gets exposed, it is one of the greatest stories in all of sports and the history of sports, and we're in the middle of it right now. The more that gets exposed, that could be the next big thing for racquetball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, his win streak and the number of years he's been number one and the 12 U.S. Open titles, and it is a phenomenal story. Just like we said, that Paula is arguably the greatest woman player of all time. I think you make the same argument for Kane.
Right.
As being the greatest men's player of all time. But yes, and the only difference between the two is that, Kane is here in the United States where it's harder to get exposure, and Paula's built her legacy in Mexico where it's, I don't want to say easier to get exposure because she works really hard, but the sports environment's different.
Yes, absolutely. And you think about it as well from a standpoint of America. America used to be the staple for racquetball, right? It was growing. Everything was great. We'll keep it here. It was just the stronghold of racquetball. And then a while back, the Mexican government, is kind of where all the international play started getting a spark for racquetball. The Mexican government had an insurgent come in of a good grip of money, and they invested into coaches, into courts. They were getting political about it, and they had so much exposure. And now, especially, I can speak for the men's side, but you're seeing it in the women's. Paolo was part of this group as well. You're seeing the fruits of those labors. That money that's been put into it, you're seeing the fruition of it come through. As you're seeing the players, when Mexico decided to invest, they're finally coming through. So we've seen Paolo for a long time. We're starting to see players like Sofia Rascon, Alessandra Herrera,
Monse
Mejia, and then obviously these Latin American countries got on board too. They're like, you know what, we can do this, and their governments have helped their players to get here. Obviously, we're seeing from Guatemala, Gabriel. And so as the tides have changed, I guess long-winded, but as the tides have changed, and USA has, been very strict with how about, their government forking over money for sports like racquetball and really focusing on their primetime sports. We've now seen that lull from America, other countries recognizing it, investing into it. Now you're seeing the fruits of those labors and the dramatic cost that has gone into it. It's all paying off. And look at the coverage she brings. I mean, Paolo Longoria is top 50 most recognized athletes in all of Mexico. She has a direct line to the president of Mexico. You know, it's mind-blowing what she's done in relatively a short amount of time.
How old is Paula?
28.
Really?
Yeah, 28. But I'll tell you something else, and this is an interesting question for you, and I'll be interested in your take on this. On the men's side in Mexico, they've got a lot of great up-and-coming players too, right? Javier Mar, who we saw earlier, his doubles partner Edson Martinez,
Right.
Paula's younger brother Christian Longoria, and a slew of others. Has her popularity and her success bolstered the men's side in Mexico?
Like I said, I think Paulo, the short answer is I think it's definitely helped. It's been an advantage. But the long and short of it, too, is there was that time where they invested into the sport. And, you know, Paulo's part of that class, and it helped her get there. Now, the other side of it, too, is there's the intangibles you can't teach. And Paola, that's one of her gifts she brings. Her personality, the fact that she was business enough to know who to talk to, who to surround herself with, who to trust, which is a tough thing to do when you're rising in popularity. Knowing when to say yes, when to say no. So long answer is, if that's what you were asking, if it's helped them,
We
has
made
it
it
helped
back.
the men's side, or
Yeah.
absolutely. It's shown that, you know, we've had players like Paola. We watched it with Alvaro and Javi, and even in some respects with Polo and Gil Mejia. Well, what if we do a little more? We obviously we want a woman champion as well at the same caliber of, you know, the president of that class would have been Alvaro Beltran. They found it, and they successfully did it with Paula. And I believe that they can, they're looking to do it again and keep it going. And, you know, like I said, now that USA has passed the torch on or has a lull right now, doesn't quite have the answer for it, they want to hold it. They want to have the crown jewel of racquetball, and they're doing everything they can and a lot of things right to secure it. So, yes, long-winded,
Excellent.
but they have helped
And
the men's side. They're seeing that their formula is working. They have developed Alvaro, they've developed Paola, and then, like you said, a slew of, you know, 20, 30 other men and women.
Yep. And while we've been talking about that, we're at game point here in game number 1. Oh, nice effort by Rhonda, and first game to Gabby Martinez and Paola Longoria.
I like that. A little fieriness there from Rhonda. Doesn't give a high five. She really hits the hand of Paola. She's not happy about this result, and I like that fire from Rhonda. We're going to see what happens in game number 2 when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the IRT Network. And welcome back to the IRT Network. You're hanging out live with Kelly Diesel Flora. Andy Callback, the new IRT commissioner, former LPRT commissioner, an enthusiast still. I'm Brian Pineda, an enthusiast of the LPRT as well. And we're privy to so much quality right here on the stadium court of the U.S. Open. It's a 22nd rendition. You're watching multiple U.S. singles champion and doubles champion on your screen right now. On the left, Paula Longoria, the one who's really been the talk of the town of the racquetball world for quite some time. Playing with new partner in the interim as Samantha Solis gets her shoulder worked on. The young lady from Guatemala who plays with just about as much fire as your body can handle, Gabriela Martinez. They're taking on no tall order of easy business, a fiery Cheryl Lotz herself, and one of the great champions of the women's tour for a long time, Rajsich. You know, Andy, we were talking about something, and I kind of want to get back to it. Two things, actually, two different topics have to do with Paola. The first one will kind of tangent from her, but it's about her. We talked about marketability, how she's done things to make racquetball so popular, and about how she's boosted the men's side. We talk about how, you know, Mexico is trying to look for the next thing as well, even though she's close related in age, but we forgot to mention someone who's really cracked the code on how Paola has also done it, and it's Jessica Parrilla.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Currently, like
Number
a
two?
Miss Universe, or
She was just at the Miss Cosmopolitan
Right.
beauty pageant for a month, somewhere in Southeast Asia.
right. She's a looker, no doubt about it. I mean, absolutely gorgeous woman in her own right. Respectfully, she's got one of the most amazing personalities. She is a professional sports commentator
Yes.
in the country of Mexico, doing soccer games, boxing, beauty pageants. I mean, she's the whole gambit of everything from, like we were talking about, the subject matter of the business side of being a professional. You know, it's not just about what you do on the court. It has a lot more to do with what you're doing on the outside to promote your sport.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, we had a lot of conversations with a lot of the players over the years that I was there, and it was always about you know how hard it is to be a professional racquetball player. And what I told them all the time was, watch what Paola does and try to do what she does.
That's smart
You may not be able to
advice.
do all of it, but watch what she does. And Jessica took that to heart, and Jessica did. And you're right, she's on TV in Mexico, she's in beauty pageants. She has, parlayed her racquetball success into other success.
Some shots you want to take back. Cheryl Lotz, I love that she took over and was dominant that rally. And you just want to see her footwork there, and that's kind of all it is, open stance. You can tell what she wanted to do, but for the shot she wanted to hit, didn't give herself enough time to really turn on it the way she wanted to, and that just came down to footwork. That's being super nitpicky, but bottom line is what it was. The other subject matter I want to talk to you about, too, is consider this. As we say, we had a lull in the players in USA for a little bit. We're starting to get a little more of some Americans that are trying to take it seriously, both men and women, that we're going to be looking to. Right now it's happening a little more on the men's side, but as you said, once these girls get through school and have more time for the tour, probably in 1 to say 3 or 4 years, we're going to start seeing some American dominance come back as well. But think about this. We have the best female player ever out of Mexico being coached by arguably one of the best coaches of all time from the U.S., Fran Davis.
Correct.
So how has that played into the factor as well?
Yeah, that's always been interesting, right? Because Fran coaches Paola. She's a former U.S. team coach. It is interesting, but I guess it kind of works the way it does in tennis, right? Your coach doesn't have to be from your own country. You just got to find the right coach that fits with you, and Paola and Fran, they work really well together.
They do. And I feel like Fran, I've never worked with her personally. I can just tell from commentating with her and just talking to her one-on-one. She's not the kind of coach that gets in there and is going to show you how to do things per se. She kind of more manages you. She sees your skills and she sees, okay, this is what you have. Now let me inject a little bit of my, let's call it 3-4 decades plus of racquetball knowledge into you, and see how you take it, how it escalates your game.
Right.
She doesn't try to overmanage is what I'm trying to say.
No, Fran and I had that discussion about Paola several years ago, because if you watch Paula's stroke mechanics and her swing, not textbook by a long shot.
Right.
And and I asked, I had asked Fran. I said, do you guys ever work on that kind of stuff? And she said, no. She swings the way she swings. She makes the shots that she needs to make. Why would I go change that?
Right.
We work on other things that makes her a better player. Strategy and strategy, shot selection, all the other things. But I'm not messing with the mechanics.
It's funny that you mentioned that story because I remember the conversation the two of them had. And it was Paola who actually lobbied Fran to be her coach. And Paola. And she said, I want you to be my coach. Like, she lobbied pretty good for her, which isn't hard to do. I'm sure Fran was super excited. She has obviously one of the most talented women ever. But she said, don't change the way I swing at the ball.
Right. Yeah. And Fran said, okay. And they've been extremely successful together. Nice get by Gabby.
I'm really impressed with the in-match adjustments Lotz has made here. She's come over to the left side to take a few more backhands, and they have been ripped for winners right in Plumville, in between the second solid line and the dotted line. She is just hitting 100% on the backhand side. Now it's Rhonda's turn. Beauty.
Yeah.
Even held the pose there a little bit. Rhonda's no stranger to being a performer out there.
Yeah, interestingly, I think you're right. Cheryl has stepped up. Rhonda's playing at a high level. Paola's playing at a high level. It really seems to me like Gabby is struggling to find her place in this match.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have the build per se of like Rhonda, and Rhonda's a very fit woman. I don't mean it that way. She doesn't have the presence on the court the way Rhonda does. Rhonda can use her body. She does. I think of all four women, she does her best job of using her body to influence her shot.
Yes. I think it's going to be a replay, and now Rhonda and Cheryl, interestingly, have recognized the same thing that we have, and now we're going to start seeing more balls go to Gabby.
Mm-hmm. And they're seeing right there exactly why their game plan is correct. Even though Paola saw maybe two balls, if not, that was the first one she saw. Automatic down, rally ender. So they have to play Gabby right now. For case in point, Gabby's she's going to get overhit. She's going to see more balls, but she's nothing wrong with the intensity that she was playing with. But right now you can feel the pressure of, she knows it's coming at her. She recognizes the game plan, and now she's got to perform. Wow, great get from Rhonda. Crafty.
Cheeky.
Big skip by Rajsich.
And Rhonda has too many hours on the court in that moment to be doing that. She knows it. We don't need to be hard on her about it, but she right now needs to be the rock of this team. Just like that.
You called it.
And she has to, because it's no doubt. I mean, you can look at the history of Rhonda. She's a champion. Indoor, outdoor, singles, doubles, worlds, nationals, amateurs, whatever you want to call it, juniors. She has the experience. It's Cheryl that's going to fluctuate in this match, so she has zero margin for error. Great get from Cheryl. That's a great get. I don't care who you are.
Ooh, what's the call? Half out?
Looks like she held for Cheryl there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the same thing. And again, they switch sides. They're going to continue to double serve Gabby.
Tough. That's not good. See, even in the backcourt, she finds a beautiful angle like that.
Yeah, so when you do this, okay, so here's a good strategical question. When you continue to double serve Gabby, do you give her just more opportunities to try to find a rhythm that she doesn't have?
That's definitely one of the gambles you play of playing someone too much. You've got to kind of smell the fear out. Are they scared to take the shot? Which in this case, I don't think that Gabby is necessarily getting scared. It's kind of like a fine line they're walking. They're not really getting the full goal. She's not afraid to swing. At the same time, she's not putting shots down either. So you're kind of putting the fate in her hands. I don't care for that strategy. The other thing that they're allowing as well by double serving Gabby is that they're allowing the one person they don't want in center court from the moment of serve to move to center court.
True.
Because any setup in that center court, Paula's already there, it's one and done. So it's almost like you want to find a good serve that keeps Paula out of front court positioning, and then you dominate front court. Like Cheryl's in great positioning right now. Wow. Wow, what a get from Paula.
It's crazy. Look at that.
That's not fair.
What a great rally.
She's an
Great
assassin.
rally.
She is.
What? After, like, now? Okay. Yeah.
6 serving 4 in a very competitive second game. We'll say hi to Deb Pratt and Emmett Coe, who are watching the wonderful display of the women here on the Stadium Court, live at the Target Center for the 22nd rendition of the U.S. Open. Miscommunication there in the middle. That's opportunity for Lotz and Ronda. And it's a smart shot. I was just going to say, too, right before that rally, when Ronda had skipped that one, there's nothing wrong with going down the middle and angle at Gabby to her left side, keeping it 2-3 feet high. Because all you're really going to get from that is a supremely lucky shot or a setup like that.
Yep. Yeah, nice rally ender by Ronda, but you're right. Score's now 5-7. Cheryl serves down the middle that time. Oh. Oh, referee is going to give them a point. Paula's going to appeal. It looked like Gabby's backswing was a little hindered by Cheryl. I don't know that she'll win that appeal. It's a replay. She does. She does. She wins that appeal.
Needs to recognize that. Paula is not someone that's going to overpower you from the back court. She's going to hit smart, angular shots. So it's very important for the ladies. Nice shot from Ronda there.
Paula's going to appeal, but I think she's going to lose that one.
Yeah, that's a good shot. It's a lucky one, but it's good nonetheless. But it's important for Cheryl and Ronda not to back up as they're serving if they're going to serve to Paula. They need to hold down the fort right there in the server's box. It's too good.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Ronda's not going to win that appeal either.
That's a perfect shot. I'd like to see him, especially Ronda, since she'll be on that left side anyways. 2-3 feet high, right over in between the service and the dotted line, serving at Gambit down the middle.
And Gabby is really struggling.
Right.
You think it's nerves or fatigue?
I think she is
There's a lot of
thinking
pressure.
too much about, exactly, I think she's thinking too much about things she can't control.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she's, on the court, on the center court at the U.S. Open, in the semifinals, playing with the #1 player in the world, and against a by the way, an outstanding team of Rajsich and Lotz. So, yeah, I think Gabby's just not dealing with the pressure very well.
That's beauty. I'd like to say hello to multiple national world champion, outdoor champion on the men's side, Jesus Ustaros. He does a lot to help promote the outdoor game. But we have a timeout, and we'll take a short timeout as well in the action. You're hanging out in a very well-contested game number 2, but it's the number 2 seed of Longoria and Martinez, who have it 9-6. We'll find out after the timeout what happens next. Stick around.
With United Healthcare, you can get rewarded for all kinds of things, like walking.
Hey, honey.
Dad, where's the car?
Thought we walk.
He's counting steps.
Walk, move, and earn money.
Goal!
Dad!
Hey, we want to welcome everyone to the father-daughter dance. Look at his dad, he's got to move.
Money you can use on out-of-pocket medical expenses.
He's okay! Yeah!
United Healthcare.
There are no shortcuts to the top. Do you have what it takes? Desire is something within you, and only you. For when the ground falls from your feet, will you be the one to rise up? It's a long road to the top, but that's just what it takes to become pro.
And welcome back to the U.S. Open of Racquetball. It's a 22nd rendition here, live at the Target Center, downtown Minneapolis. You're hanging out with once and future commissioner of the LPRT, Andy Callbeck, now with the IRT respectfully, but he's never really going to leave the LPRT. You can take the boy out of the LPRT, but you can't take the LPRT out of the
That's
boy.
funny. That's funny. I do have a soft spot in my heart for the LPRT. There's no doubt about that.
Whoa, you were the commissioner for how many years?
About 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out. Good serve there from Cheryl. Gets her set up for Rhonda. That's the right game plan, by the way. Cheryl should be working to get setups for Rhonda.
A nice shot by Longoria into the corner.
That is a dangerous serve there for Rhonda. Could have got either her or Cheryl tagged.
Yeah. Parla didn't hold up.
As she shouldn't. That's not her problem. Her problem is to deal with the serve, the task at hand.
Another skip off that right side by Gabby.
Do you notice that, though? Waist high. 2-3 feet high is all it really needs to be. The rest will take care of itself. She could hit a lucky shot. I don't think that's her wheelhouse as it's going that fast down the line. Beauty from Rhonda.
I mean, what would you think? And obviously, I'm not Fran Davis, who's sitting there coaching Paula and Gabby. But what would you think about just for, a handful of rallies, having those two switch sides and see if Gabby can get some of her confidence back? She's got a good backhand.
The backhand, I think, is what's saved her and also been detrimental for her. But the backhand on the right side, I agree with you, has not been as formidable as when you're comfortable and you got a wall to line you up. it's probably a lot more natural for her if she would be taking backhands on the left side.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, maybe she makes a few shots, starts to get some confidence back, and, then she can go back to where they are obviously better as a team, but at least she gets a little rhythm that she just can't seem to get a hold of right now.
Right. See, there's Ronda right now. She's sacrificing the team right now for personal glory. And she would not like me saying that, and that's okay. That's just what the fact is. She wants to be cute there instead of getting the job done. Even that would have been better last time. But at the same time, respectfully, Ronda has to play what's comfortable for her, and she loves to be a show woman out there. Uncharacteristic miss there from Longoria. Advantage for the number 6 seed. 8 serving 9 is the official score on the PAN scorecard.
That's a nice shot by Gabby. Maybe that starts to give her a little bit of confidence.
Timeout from Longoria. We'll keep it right here, too. It sounds unorthodox, but I even say hit some overheads straight down the middle. Let's see if Paola wants to go ahead and start getting on her horse, tracking those down in for winners. Or is there going to be a miscommunication there because who else hits an overhead 5 feet high that comes off the back wall and would land in the center court?
Oh, I do that regularly when I play. The only problem is mine aren't intentional.
It's not hitting, it's more flailing.
Flailing would be generous.
But I think a great game plan, too, for on the Fran Davis, if she's talking to Gabrielle and Paula, is for the exact game plan, but reverse for the other team. Okay, it's Cheryl that's going to be the deal breaker in this.
Right.
It's going to be about managing mistakes. And right now, the number 2 seed's getting a touch lucky because Ronda's not playing as consistent as she needs to, nor serving as well as I've seen her serve before. So she's being a touch costly, and Cheryl's the one that's to be fluctuating. Whereas right now on the team for the number 2 seed, you've got Paola, who's basically made one mistake this whole game, killing everything else, is playing tough for her partner, Gabby, who's got to find her way.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen here. The score's 10-8. The score's now 11-8. What I think is going to happen in the next 5 minutes is you are going to see this game become all Longoria, and they're going to close this out.
I'm interested to know why she took the time out there because it obviously worked.
I would tell you that I have seen Paula do that over and over and over again, and I don't know that I understand the logic either, but I have seen her win a rally as the receiver, call a timeout before she goes and serves.
Right. I wonder if she sees something mid-rally and wants to get confirmation or what it is.
No, I think I think that could be part of it. I think the other part of it could be, okay, I'm back in a box. Let's make sure that I know exactly what I'm going to do from a server's perspective.
Okay. I respect that. Wow. In the matter of minutes, and rightfully so, she's upset. She can't understand how we've seen in less than 2 minutes, 3 skips from the forehand.
Yeah. Cheese.
This should be down the line. Goes cross court. Smart, wide angle.
Yep.
Looked like down the line was open, but I'm going to let the world number 1 make her own choices. This time.
I'm sure she greatly appreciates that.
Gabrielle leaves this one up. Yep. That's great vision from Ronda right there. That's what I expect out of her.
Here's something interesting, too, and I just thought about this as I saw Gabby try to retrieve that ball. If she's not making shots, and she's clearly not making shots, why doesn't she become the retriever? And just go get everything.
Right. I think she's taken so much fire that she's not sure where her place, like you said, we've been saying the whole time, where her place is in this match. I think she's trying to get to it, but now with these mistakes and these unforced errors and figuring that they're 4 points from victory, they've allowed her to get out of her own head and to be a little more of a contributor, because as you're seeing now, she's not skipping so much, and she's earning Paola the setup. So she's doing her part in working the rallies and then finally see it finish. So this is the detriment to skipping the ball, to not coming in with a clear game plan, serving not at the highest rate. You've allowed a player who had the tail between their legs. Now they've got the ears up and they're ready to hunt.
Like a turkey strutting.
Turkeys don't hunt. They get hunted.
That's right.
Yeah, they hunt insects.
And then she gives
And
it right
nuts,
back there. This
acorns.
is not a well-managed game from either team right now. So it's in a limbo, even though the only advantage is they have 12 and the other team has 9.
Yeah.
Say hello to Michael Martinez, CEO and president of Pro Kinetics Racquetball.
It's a great shot by Ron, just stepping over to cut that Z off.
It's too many hours on the court right there. That's perfect. Great intuition, great anticipation, perfect connection, execution of the highest level. And once again, Cheryl, questionable shot selection there. Why she's pinching 5 feet high, boxing her partner out, and hitting into the wheelhouse of the world number 1.
Yeah, and interestingly, they both, at least in that inning, they both served to Paola.
Yeah.
You know, went away from the double serving Gabby strategy.
But you know what? This will be a great opportunity for this team to learn a lot about how they play. I hope they go back and do video on this, because this will tell them everything that they've done incorrect. And I have no doubt in my mind. In fact, if I were to choose who was supposed to win this match, I would have taken the number 6 seed almost any day, because this has a better chemistry, and they have more weapons to offer on that team.
Oh, look at that. Gabby says, oh, wow, I finally made a shot, right?
That's what 5, 6 skips in a row and missed opportunities will do. Exactly.
Yeah.
They let her free swing like that. She's going to connect. She's one of the top players in the world. You can't keep going to the well.
There it is. Wow. That's the match.
And there it is. I mean, that's just excellent in-game adjustments, recognizing even Paola for a small stint not playing at her best capability. Gabby almost the entire second game until the very end, not playing to the best of her ability, but finding a way to win, and that's what champions do. So great job to Paola Longoria, world number 1 singles ranked player in the world, and her partner this week at the U.S. Open, Gabriel Martinez. They move on.
Yep, next up for us is
men's doubles, I believe. So
Alvaro
stick
Beltran,
around.
Daniel De La Rosa against...
Should be Samuel Murray and Jansen Allen.
Nice. That's going to be fun to watch.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Yep,
thank you, Kelly Diesel. We'll be right back. You're watching the IRT Network.